Hello, my group. We'll talk about the effects of exercise at altitude in the circulatory system. The group is confirmed by Ángel Felipe Barreiro Valenzuela, Paula Andrea España Tovar, Valeria Torres Bonilla, Angie Valeria Ramírez Cárdenas, and my person, Laura Floriano. What does training at higher altitudes entail? Higher altitudes mean less oxygen. This means the lungs must open more. Exercise has an effect. The blood carrying capacity increases, which increases the flow of red blood cells. The consequences are positive, especially when we leave the altitudes to return to everyday life at sea level. The body performs better with less effort. In a normal person, red blood cells make up 40% of the blood roughly. Working at altitude increases the capacity to generate red blood cells by 10 to 20%. The blood's oxygen carrying capacity also increases. We are multiplying our exercise capacity during prolonged aerobic exercise. On the other hand, the important fact. With the above, it is important to highlight that red blood cells are very important, especially in transport from the lungs, along with hemoglobin, a substance that travels in red blood cells. Therefore, the more red blood cells there are, the more oxygen the body can transport.
Are there more rays? Yes. A lot of altitude or a long time exposed to the condition. Because the longer you spend at altitude, the more the number of red blood cells increases, which can thicken the blood if training is prolonged over time. What is result? Cardiovascular problems. More weight less than above disproportion heights above 2,000 meters. We could suffer from hypoxia. About the nervous system can have irreversible consequences on the brain and some sensations.
One effects calm altitude have when trained. For every extreme march your training performs decreases by 2%. This means that the workspace decreases by 2% when sweat at the piece draws. And liquid training, sea low, training and altitude calm arts improve performance because the body adapts to the less amount of oxygen, producing more red blood cells include also fatigue, less intensity when training, and sleep problems.
Hello, I'm going to talk to you about effects of high altitude exercise on the circulatory system. First, increase heart rate to compensate for the lower amount of oxygen in the air. The heart beats faster to maintain adequate oxygen delivery to the tissues. Second, increase cardiac cotton. The body increases the volume of blood photon per minute to meet metabolic demand. Third, increase red blood cell production. Prolonged sport to altitude stimulates the production of erythropoietin (EPO), a hormone that increases red blood cell production, thus improving oxygen carrying capacity. Four, changes in blood pressure. It may be temporarily elevated due due to increased cardiac output in hypoxia-induced vasoconstriction. Finally, long-term adaptation. Over time, the body adapts by applying oxygen transport efficiency and reduce the resting heart rate. Thank you.
Conclusion. Exercise at high in altitudes involves significant adaptation in the circulatory systems, mainly due to the reduced availability of oxygen. The body responds by increasing heart rate and over time boosting red blood cell production to expand oxygen transport. This response demonstrates the body's ability to adapt to extreme conditions. However, proper acclimatization is essential to avoid risks and maximize the benefits of high altitude training. Understanding these effects allow for a strategic application of altitude exercise both in sport and in cardiovascular health.